if you're new here, my name is Jamie and I post videos every Sunday. So I used to live in Melbourne for around 8 years and I recently visited at the start of the year for a friend's wedding. I reunited with so many of my favorite food spots, but of course I also explored new places, and I was definitely that person who mapped out every meal, every coffee / matcha break on my itinerary, because I just feel like with limited time and limited stomach space, you have to be so selective, okay? And I'm a freak. I'm just a freak about my food. I'm really excited to share these recommendations and I hope you enjoy them, whether you're visiting Melbourne soon or whether you're a local and want to explore some new spots. The first cafe is the League of Honest Coffee, located in the CBD. This has been one of my favorites for years. If you want a quality coffee, this is the spot. I feel like their coffee is rich, smooth, and perfectly brewed. And most of all, I feel like it is so consistent. Staff are really friendly and knowledgeable, and I feel like it has a really warm, friendly atmosphere, even though it's always busy when you walk in. Now, if you're a matcha lover, you definitely have to venture out to Brunswick. I went to this super cute cafe. It's such a cozy spot tucked away near a train station, and the matcha latte that I had was incredible. And I'm so picky and annoying about my matcha. I loved seeing their unique drinks menu, from the matcha cloud to the mango genmatcha to the banana hojicha. Damn, so unique, so different. The staff were so friendly and really knowledgeable and passionate about their matcha. I know this place can get so busy, so try to go during the week if possible. While you're in Brunswick, you might as well stop by and pick up a little pastry from a neighborhood gem. This is located in an alleyway behind Sydney Road. Oven Street Bakery offers a huge selection of pastries, breads, and desserts, and it has such a beautiful laid-back atmosphere. Okay, now back in the city, definitely visit Bloomwood. It is such a cute cafe and it has more seating on the top floor. It's a great spot to get a takeaway coffee, sit down for a coffee, or even do some laptop work while you're devouring one of their pastries. That's definitely what I did. The selection of their flavors is fantastic, from lemon lychee to mango sago. I'm so happy I ordered the taro cocoa flour pastry. It was so delicious. It was flaky and flavorsome without being overly sweet. It definitely satisfied my taro craving. I also really loved the bits of jelly inside. I feel like it really broke through the sweetness, and I just love the different texture element it added to the pastry. I'm actually salivating thinking about this pastry. It was so good. And I ordered the matcha cloud, which was the coconut water with matcha cream. And that was the first kind of matcha cloud that I've ever drunk in my life. And I was like, oh my goodness, where have you been? It was so refreshing. I actually feel like I really want to learn how to make this at home, because I haven't stopped thinking about it. So definitely recommend stopping by Bloomwood. Moving on to my final cafe recommendation. This is Tori's in the CBD. I'm sure you've heard of it. It is so popular, and in my opinion, I feel like it deserves the hype. Tori's strawberry matcha is my favorite in Melbourne. I definitely like my strawberry matcha on the sweeter side, so keep that in mind. They have a really big selection of pastries and baked goods, and in the cafe they also sell their tins of genmatcha and matcha, even though the matcha one has been stocked out for a very long time, which I completely understand why it's so popular, but it's great to be able to bring back home a tin. The cafe itself has a really warm vibe. As soon as you walk in, it feels like you're walking into someone's apartment that's really cozy and is styled in a really vintage way. This is another cafe that gets super busy, so if you can go during the weekday, I would definitely suggest that. Okay, now that we're all caffeinated, let's have some lunch. If you're after some Korean food, Ondo on Little Lonsdale is a beautiful Korean restaurant focused on simplicity, discipline, and dedication. It's right opposite the League of Honest Coffee, so keep that in mind. They have a great selection of lunch sets from beef tartare to kingfish. I would say the lunch menu is definitely more on the pricey side, so they range up to like $35. I picked the Korean rice congee, which was on the less pricey side, so it was $25, and I have no regrets ordering that. It was so delicious. It was rice congee with shredded chicken, mung bean, barley, and ginseng. When I see congee on the menu, I'm gonna order it. I just find congee so comforting. I feel like congee can sometimes have a bad rep because people assume it's going to be on the bland side, but seriously, Ondo's congee is a great example of how flavorsome congee can be. I definitely recommend. And they also have a great selection of drinks. You can also order like a matcha cloud from here. They also serve coffees, so definitely a great lunchtime spot to visit. Okay, now this next recommendation, it's out in the burbs, okay? And I recommend this a little bit hesitantly just because I know for some people it's going to be a long trek to have some lunch. But let's just say you're visiting Chatty, you're in the Chadstone area, you're in the east, you might as well just pop on over to Carnegie and try out Shyun ramen. This spot has such a special place in my heart because I'm absolutely obsessed with their dry ramen. I used to live in Carnegie and it makes me emotional thinking back to a time when this was my local. I have their dry ramen and I order it usually with tofu or chashu, and when you pay that extra dollar to make it spicy, it is so delicious. It's so flavorful. It's gonna sound like a strange comparison, but if you are a huge fan of mee goreng, just think mee goreng, but like elevated. They've added like something special. I mean, to give you context, on my trip, I traveled for like an hour and a half for this dish. As soon as I had that first bite, I was like, it was all worth it. The journey was worth it. If you're expecting like really nice decor or even really attentive service, it's not it, okay? Just go for the ramen. Okay, so if you made it all the way to Carnegie to have that Shyun ramen, definitely pop on over across the street and go to Nuvoletta Gelato. I tried out so many samples and each one was creamy, delicious, and unique. All were bursting with flavor. They have such a variety from brown butter miso cheesecake to coconut pandan. I'm sure you will find something. Staff were really friendly and welcoming as well. I finally landed on the Earl Grey candied pistachio and I was just so happy. I was so happy with my decision. I was literally sitting there by myself taking my sweet time with like no care in the world because I was in like gelato heaven. I was savoring every scoop because it was delicious. Okay, let's now move on to some evening spots. I tried out Bar Liberty on Johnston Street in Fitzroy for the very first time. I've heard so much hype about it. People have recommended this place to me for years, so I finally had to try it. As soon as I walked in, I felt like the service was really great and friendly. They had a unique menu and all the dishes that we had were delicious. And they also have a great wine and drinks list as well. We had the Sydney Rock oysters with lavage dressing, the wholemeal sourdough flatbread with grated tomato with Polish herbal pepper. That was delicious. Oh my god, the potato dumplings with the Bay of Fires cheddar and dill. That was so good. And the wood grilled pork scotch with smoked peppers and parsley. I was really happy with everything we ordered. I also thought that what we ordered was like the perfect portions for the two of us. Now, if you really want to treat yourself and go to a restaurant that feels fancy, luxurious, and just divine, I feel like I rarely use the word divine, but it really is the perfect adjective here. I really recommend visiting Hazel on Flinders Lane in the CBD. I was so happy to eat here again on my trip, and I went with my friend who's vegetarian and we had a full vegetarian dinner and I enjoyed every bit of it. What I really love about Hazel, besides their exquisite ambiance, is their focus on locally sourced seasonal ingredients, and the staff are so attentive and knowledgeable. Like, they know that menu like the back of their hand. It is incredible. It's definitely one of those restaurants that you can ask for like very thoughtful recommendations on what you should order. And I love this restaurant definitely for a fancier night or a special occasion, or if you're visiting Melbourne and you just want to try a great spot in the city. Turning to Hochi Mama in the CBD. This Asian fusion spot will always hold a special place in my heart. They do not hold back on their flavor, and I think their feed me menu is absolutely incredible value. Not once have I gone there without leaving with leftovers because they serve so much food. With their feed me menu, you can order 2 smaller dishes, 2 larger dishes, and 1 side. It's $45 per person for lunch and $49 per person for dinner. I feel like this is one of those restaurants where you can order and you just can't go wrong, but I'm gonna help you out with some standout dishes because I've been there so many times. I absolutely love the better leaf bites, okay? If you take away anything from this video, please don't forget the better leaf bites. Holy F, they are a flavor explosion. I also really love the fried chicken bao, and oh my gosh, the pad thai hits every time. Can you hear me salivating? That's so annoying. We love the Chinese broccoli with crispy pork belly with their special homemade sauce. And of course, you have to order the coconut rice as your side dish, or the roti, okay? You just can't order the plain rice. I feel like that's illegal. And their drinks menu is also fantastic. They have so many options, and the atmosphere is very vibey. Like, it's like you're in the club. I think it's a great spot for a date night or dinner with friends. I'm so happy I ate there again. I don't think I could visit Melbourne without eating at Hochi Mama. The trip just wouldn't feel complete for me. For a dessert spot, I visited Kariton sorbetes for the first time on my trip, and it immediately took my heart. As a Filipina, I just fell in love with the Filipino-inspired flavors. Each flavor is inspired by a Filipino classic dessert, cocktail, or produce. I had the ube halaya, which is purple yam gelato with purple yam fudge, blackberry jam, and caramelized coconut curds. I would definitely go back. For this next segment, I have planned an evening for you in Carlton, okay? So we're gonna start with a little pre-dinner drink at Good Measure. I really wish I took more clips of this place, but I was too busy drinking and yapping. It is a cafe in the daytime and a beer/wine bar in the evening, and the vibes, perfection. They even had like a DJ in the corner, and I kind of looked back and did a double take. I was like, no wonder the vibes are so good. Their signature drink is the Mont Blanc, which my friend had and absolutely loved it. And I just had a drink, and I just felt like it was a great evening spot. Next time I visit Melbourne, I would love to go during the daytime to try their coffee and also try some of their food. It's definitely popping off. Like, I'm seeing this spot everywhere. So after your pre-dinner drink, you're just gonna go on a little walk on over to Kaprica. This has been one of my favorite Italian spots since my university days. Shout out to my friend Sio. He brought me and my husband here, and our lives were forever changed. Not to be dramatic, but I had to reunite with the Mr. John pizza. It had tomato, mozzarella, pesto, and hot salami. I've come here countless times and I've never had a bad dish. I also really love their potato pizza with mozzarella, caramelized onions, and rosemary, and also the spaghetti vongole with garlic, thyme, and chili. It has a very cozy, homey vibe with rustic furniture, and I just think it's a really lovely dinner spot. Now turning to dessert, you're gonna walk on over to Beku Gelato. This is the final recommendation of the video. They have really unique and diverse Asian-inspired flavors, from lychee, pandan rice pudding, calamansi sorbet, durian to Milo, and hochi cha. They also have specials, so definitely check it out. I love visiting here every time I'm in Carlton. Anyway, that is a wrap on the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate so much if you clicked subscribe. It really supports my small channel. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!